Good evening, it's Adil Fazal here, market analyst at CFDs.com, bringing you a review of the FTSE 100 for the closing session of Wednesday. The confirmed date is the 3rd of November 2015. Okay, so let's see exactly where we stand in terms of, or should I say Wednesday the 4th of November, it's calling the 5th now. I need to get my clock changed by the looks of it. Okay, yes, so Wednesday the 4th of November. Now let's see exactly what happened. Okay, we had the Asian markets higher overnight, so obviously certainly helped the FTSE rally from the get-go. Also, we had the strong results from Marks and Spencers that certainly helped. Persimmon, ING, stronger Chinese data, stronger UK data today as well. Okay, so these are all factors that helped for the FTSE rally from the outset. So if I bring up the chart of the FTSE 100 on a 10-minute chart, you can see that we gapped higher and off we went to the races. Now we did actually go into this gap fill level here. I did actually attempt to short the FTSE at this level, and I was initially almost minus 20 points against me in that trade until it finally reversed and started to sell off. Now I did actually close this trade break even until I actually reshorted again and managed to catch some 20 points on the downside. But for now, you can clearly see that obviously it's a H&S formation that's in play. Now, the reason why the market rallied itself obviously was stronger Chinese data. Shanghai up almost 4% overnight, even though it was an erroneous rally because it was based on news that was 5 months old. But still, the market rallied nevertheless, and certainly enjoyed stellar gains. Okay, and it was quite an impressive rally as such. Now, even with the fact that Yellen obviously towards the close, Yellen did actually sound very hawkish in the markets, obviously sold off as well towards the close below sub 6400. Now the FTSE itself, like I said, it was all about Glencore today. Now let's just bring up the chart of Glencore and see if we can decipher this. Now you can see here the 10-minute chart certainly seems exhausted, and we certainly have a argument here for a H&S formation, so your left shoulder, the head. So any pop tomorrow, obviously you're looking at closing the gap below. Looking at the chart on the daily basis, now you clearly see that we're into this diagonal trend line support, horizontal resistance. We've put in the doji, and like I said, you have the unfilled gap below. So certainly a strong argument for the FTSE 100 to certainly fall on the morrow. Okay. Bring up the actual FTSE itself again, FTSE 100. Now looking at the weekly chart of the FTSE 100, you can see that this key resistance zone at 61% certainly is holding. We are trading in last week's inside bar of the red candle, so the bears certainly remain in control on the weekly chart. The daily chart, the bears certainly remain a hold of the resistance at 6450 up to 6480, so we are failing to go past that at present, and therefore you are in a risk-off scenario. The 60-minute chart, you clearly see there we have this inverted head and shoulders formation at 6480. We went as high as 6460 before we started to reverse quite powerfully. As you can see, horizontal resistance is quite strong around the 6450 zone. Okay, and this certainly needs to be observed from the FTSE 100's perspective. Now at present you do have a retracement now down to the 61% fib, and whether or not this inverted head and shoulders would play out is a different story. From my perspective, given the fact that the S&P 500, if I bring up the chart, the S&P 500 certainly has a H&S formation, as you can see in the 60-minute chart. Therefore, I'm expecting the same type of pattern to play out on the FTSE and certainly move to the downside. Especially given the fact that Miss Yellen obviously is sounding hawkish now, and the dollar certainly has propelled higher and certainly projected higher quite substantially. So again, this is going to be absolutely crucial as to the actual movements of the FTSE 100 itself. Now the Shanghai will certainly play a key part as well overnight, so that's something that we're certainly going to observe. Now the volatility index again needs to be watched very carefully for the FTSE 100. As you can see here, we did put in a potential bottoming tail on the FTSE itself on the daily chart, as you can see there. If I just get rid of this, okay, yeah, unfortunately I can't. Okay, so daily chart popping tail, and the 60-minute chart itself, you are looking at a potential inverted head and shoulders. So any type of pullback here, then we are looking at a nice retracement and a powerful retracement at that as well. Now the FTSE itself certainly has held this pivot low here, so we've certainly put in the FTSE volatility index certainly has held a double bottom, and certainly has argument here now for it to be building a base and for the market certainly start rally on the upside. So again, that's something that we're going to watch very, very carefully. The 10-minute chart, you are coming into obviously 200 MA resistance, so watch that and observe that as well. The daily chart, like I said, it's all about that bottoming tail, so that's something that we observe and that's what we watch. Okay, very, very important. Okay, now the actual let's bring up the rest. Now the FTSE All Share, you can see there again a topping tail holding resistance on the FTSE All Share as well. FTSE Euro top, again topping tail holding that resistance zone there as well. Okay, FTSE Europe, again potential topping tail holding that key diagonal trend line. So everything is indicating a movement lower for the FTSE 100, and that certainly is a risk-off scenario. And again, it's all based on the fact that the Yellen is certainly sounding hawkish, and certainly indicating for the dollar to certainly start to rise, and a potential rate rise will be negative for the markets. Again, that's going to be the key and crucial event for the FTSE itself, for it to be potentially carry on and continue with its weekly H&S formation. Now the FTSE 250, again, this is also confirming the weakness on the actual markets. If I bring up the FTSE 250, again a topping tail on the daily chart certainly is indicating resistance. 60-minute chart, quite a substantial flush and a negation. So again, on the 60-minute chart, you are seeing the argument of a H&S formation. So your left shoulder is there, your head is there, and right shoulder, and down we go. So certainly a powerful retracement. Now this was a bull flag, we failed the bull flag, and the market obviously has moved in the opposite direction. So again, the FTSE itself is certainly indicating weakness based on that. Now FTSE Auto Parts, this is again another important indices, given the fact that Volkswagen was the main concern, and Volkswagen is it was down 10% today, and certainly Volkswagen concerns have come back given the fact that Moody's is obviously downgraded. The actual automobile sector certainly needs to be watched, and that may well be the catalyst to cause the panic and the sell-off in the markets as well, given the fact that it was down 10% today. The banking sector, as you can see in the daily 60-minute chart, certainly is under the spotlight and certainly remains weak. FTSE 100 retail sector certainly remains weak, even with Marks and Spencer, so that's a warning sign. The mining sector certainly putting a potential pivot top today, so again, don't be surprised to see further weakness tomorrow. As you can see there, we've held that key trend line, even with the news from Glencore. The FTSE oil and gas certainly, as you can see here, a key topping tail on the daily chart. So these are all weak. This is all showing weakness going into tomorrow, especially given the fact that we've seen the dollar into support, and obviously Miss Yellen sounding more hawkish. So any dollar strength is obviously weakness for commodities, and that's exactly what's going to ensue. So everything is certainly pointing bearish, and especially with regards to the volatility index. So the FTSE 100 on the 10-minute chart, you can clearly see here there's a H&S formation. The target more or less was reached, so any potential retracement tomorrow will certainly be a shorting opportunity for the gap fill level below at 6375. Now it is Super Thursday tomorrow, so we'll certainly expect a lot of volatility in the FTSE, and it will all be about BOA and the inflation report, and obviously growth projections as well going forward. So certainly a keen eye on the actual price of sterling too. Now the Shanghai certainly is into resistance. Previous support equals resistance, given the 4% rally that we've seen overnight, and the price action tonight or overnight is going to be absolutely crucial as to the next move on the FTSE 100. I think that's a wrap, folks. Be sure to visit cfds.com, the leading spread betting and CFD brokerage, and certainly visit cfds.com to certainly learn more about the products and services and offer. Good night and good trading for Thursday, which is obviously known as Super Thursday. Goodbye.